Welcome to Knowledgeable Aging. I'm your host, Jason Kotar. Joining us today to talk about why choose an assisted living is Maria Kader. Maria has worked in the healthcare field since 1995, specializing in the care of and advocating for the elderly. She established JK House of Grace assisted living facilities in 1995. With Maria as the director, these homes are recognized by colleagues and medical professionals for providing high-quality nursing care and specializing in the most difficult and complex cases of advanced dementia and behavioral problems. She has fulfilled her lifelong dream where every aspect of the residents' lives, body, mind, and spirit, are cared for and vital to their treatment. She is known as the Dementia Whisperer because of the gifts she uses to enhance the lives of her residents. How are you doing today, Maria?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Thank you, Jason, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm looking forward to our conversation, Maria. But before we get started, for those that are joining us for the live webinar, you'll see a control panel on your right-hand side. If you have any questions, type your questions in. Time permitting, at the end, we will do everything in our power to get your questions answered. So, Maria, I'd like to get started. Sure. What is an assisted living facility, and what types of services do assisted living communities offer?
That's a good question. Assisted living facility is like a home environment where the care is provided to someone who is not able to be at home with his own family to take care of, where his needs or her needs are not able to be given in terms of care, in terms of what we call activities of daily living, like the washing, bathing, feeding, administration of medication. At one point, they're able to do it at home with their loved one, and there are certain times that they cannot continue to do it at home, and they have to find a place. This place is called a small facility, which is called assisted living, where they can have all of these needs fulfilled in a smaller, more intimacy environment that is provided for their care.
So to follow up on that, Maria, what are the differences in the types of care and services available in these communities?
Well, we have like lots of services provided actually in let's say in what I'm talking about, our small community. It's a home environment, that's number one. Number two, we provide all the activities of daily living for them. And the ratio of caregivers to residents, like in a smaller home, is only 8 residents. That's the max they can have. So we have like 2 caregivers in the daytime for the care of them, to 1 caregiver at nighttime for the 8. And we cook for them, we feed them, we change for them, we bathe them, we shower them, we administer medication, we monitor their needs, we monitor their vital signs, their orders, we follow doctor orders, we take care of their memory care. You know, even they have dementia, we are a memory care too units there that we can take care of them. We also take care of their like the feeding, not just like they're able to feed themselves. We are there to feed them if they're not able to feed themselves, and we are able to accommodate their needs when it comes to feeding. Let's say that they're eating solid food at the beginning when they are with us at the beginning of their stay, and they develop like different stage of needs, so we can shift it to soft mechanical, then to pureed, and we are able to adjust with their needs when in terms of meals and feeding. We provide also snacks for them. So like 3 meals a day with 2 different snacks, and I call it always healthy snacks. So they can have healthy snacks, not just like any snack. It's not any snack, they are provided for them. And I would say, you know, name it, we can provide it as far as their need to be provided for them.
Yeah, you mentioned memory care or memory support programs. Are those in place with all assisted living facilities or communities?
Not really. I mean, you know, we have to follow the state and the county regulations. So the state now are like harder with their regulations on us. So they don't give all facilities, small facilities or home environment, what we call it, the high level of certificate or licensure. So in our community, we are licensed for the high level of care, which is level 3. So basically, we are able to provide the care for them, whether they are level 1 with companionship, to level 2, that they need more work with them, to level 3, where they are more totally dependent on us with everything. So some of those group homes that, or assisted living, smaller homes, they are licensed only for level 1 or level 2. So you will have different levels.
So are there secured areas specifically for residents that require the memory care? And then what security protocols are in place to maintain their safety?
This is an important question here, because when we deal with memory care and with elopement and wandering, now we have different regulations for security areas and security system in our facility. So we started from the beginning. We started with the safety bars. That's the simple things, to prevent them from falls, to accommodating their needs for the toileting and the high commode. That's again to prevent them from falls and to keep them safety. And we installed the backup, battery. That's when we didn't have the generators. So we have now generators in each home that covers everything in the facility, from microwave to a dryer and washer and fridge. So it runs the whole facility as if there's no problem there with our electricity outages. We have the fire alarm system, we have sprinkler system, and the fire alarm sprinkler system is monitored also with the county. So any little smoke, and it's a small home, any little smoke in the house, like the other day, it brought the fire department to the facility. What's going on? What can we do to help you? And it's just a little bit of smoke that we were able to control it on our own. But this is all to also that shows that we are very secure, that a little smoke can get the help for us immediately.
Yeah. So what happens when a resident's needs change, requiring additional support due to health decline?
Well, we do have other resources that helps us. I will say that's my promise always to the families when they come to meet with me and we negotiate that they stay with us. I would say, I'm willing to take care of your loved one from the day one till the last breath. And that gives them more peaceful and comfort, secure feeling that my loved one is not going to be moved from a place to place until the end of life. And that's something, it's not actually for the advantage of any of us, neither for me as a business, for the patient or the resident himself, because he's dementic and you cannot just keep moving him from place to place. Once you find a place, make sure that this place is the right place for your loved one and you don't have to keep moving him. So let's say that his condition, as you said, changed to of course, it's not going to be to the best. It's going to be like advanced. So I have to get more resources there available for me. I might need more physical therapy for him, and I will go ahead and get that one for him. We call it like physical therapy, occupation therapy, and speech therapy. And these help a lot with the decline of their physical and mental condition, because the speech therapist can help me with not just the swallowing issues that he might develop, he or she. It also helped me with the cognitive impairment there, to get us more exercises to work with them and help the residents with dementia. We also can get help via the hospices, because if they are advanced with their needs and we need hospice care, I have to get hospice care involved. And this is for more comfort and for more of palliative care for them. And that's an extra eye for me in the facility, in the house. Like, it's true, I'm a nurse, but hospice nurse is more experienced in her own work of hospice care. So that will help me and give me an extra hand of help. They provide me also not just with the nurses, also with aid that help us with bathing, showering, and other needs for that. So it depends on the need that I need to get. I will find the resource that is needed, and I will immediately work with that resources there. So,
what about communication processes? What are the typical communication processes in place with the family members?
In terms like you're talking about like the communication, like how do I communicate in terms of the need of the resident that I have?
Yes.
We communicate with them ongoing. Sometimes, because the family, they are allowed to visit. We still are with the pandemic and the COVID restrictions here. I mean, it's true that it's getting a little bit free, but we still have our own, restrictions. So the family come and visit regularly, and they're allowed to come and visit. And we would love for them to come and visit, because when they come and visit, they see things that we see it on daily basis, but they don't see it on daily basis. So they will say, what's going on? Why did my mom is acting like this? So I have to do the explanation, about what's going on. And usually what we do, sometimes I set up the communication with the family about the progress of the residents on weekly basis, because again, most of our families, they're not from the area. So they all are out of state, and there are some of them out of the country. So I have to find a way of communicating with them, whether by a Skype, or now, thank God for the smartphones, we can just FaceTime, and it's easily communicating, showing their loved one, even if like a sudden change in their loved one, and they cannot come to see, I will be able to communicate with them through the smartphone and FaceTime. Skype is still available for us. Although I know it's an old way of communication, but it's still available, and we still do it. Yeah. So the communication is ongoing, I would say, with the family. So I don't hide anything. And actually, most of the time when I want to deal with the family, I see the decline in the resident's condition, and I see the need, let's say, for example, the need for hospice care. The family are still not aware of what's going on of hospice care, and why do I need it? So I have to send an email or send a text message or call them and say, why don't we meet? There is some changes happen, and I would like to communicate with you. Can we do this? And I will offer the service there. And I will offer them, what's the importance of this service, and we go with that or we don't. It depends on their needs. The family, sometimes they don't want to go with that. Yeah. So you have to respect what they want.
Absolutely. So what are some of the benefits of a move to an assisted living community versus staying at home with the supportive services in place, such as a personal caregiver?
As I said before, I am with staying at home. It is because it's the safe environment for them. It's the comfort zone for them. It's for them and for their caregiver as a wife or husband. But at one point, the family are not able to take care of this person. At one point, this person has become either agitated, combative, wandering. They cannot control this person at home. They open the door and just leave. They're gone. And the wife is old also. I mean, if she's the caregiver for her husband, she cannot control him. So that's when we will say, okay, try to have a caregiver at home. If the caregiver at home is not affordable, and most of the time, caregivers at home is a lot expensive than having someone, at the facility. Where I mean, comparing to the pricing, I would say, like the cheapest they can find a caregiver at home is like maybe $25 an hour. Bring them to a facility, smaller facility like ours, it might be sometimes half of the price what they're paying. That's including everything. So that's something important for the family to know, that it is okay for you to take care of him at home, but caregiver is limited with what she can do to this loved one. Like, she can feed him, she can prepare the food for him, but she does not know how to administer medication. She has to contact with her nurse. With our facility, or with a smaller facility, with an assisted living, everything is already set. It's already under control, and all their needs is going to be fulfilled. That's number one. Number two, that the caregiver, if you're going to bring a caregiver at home, and you want to, because you think that you're saving money there on having that caregiver, if you're paying her under the table there, if something happened to that caregiver, she's going to go after you. And she doesn't have insurance, you don't have insurance. In a facility, there is an insurance that covers you if something happened to your loved one. And that's important for you to know at home when you are dealing with a caregiver. Again, we are talking about the care here. The care at home, if you cannot control it, if you cannot fulfill the needs of your loved one, it has to be moved to a facility. That's the basic line.
Okay. I want to talk about your staff. What kind of training do staff members receive? And is there specialized training for your staff for caring with people with memory impairments?
Yes, that is something, it is not in my hands or anyone's hand, because the state of Maryland is giving us a certain list of training that called ongoing training for our staff, before they come to work for us, they have to have the basic training, which is first aid, CPR, and I have to get the background, check on them, and they have to be. We don't really care if they are CNAs or home health aid. It's not a requirement, but if any of them is a CNA or home health aid certified, it's a plus for her to be with us, for her or him. So we have also the fire and life safety that we have to train about. We train them about how to approach a person with dementia. It's about the memory care again and the cognitive impairment. That's a training course. Infection control is very important. And now we are going to add to it infection control and COVID restrictions. And we have also I talked about the fire extinguishers. They have to know each fire extinguishers, where the location of the fire extinguisher in the facility, and how to demonstrate it, how to work with it if a small fire happened in the house. We talk about food preparation, food safety. We talk about, now end of life is added, prevention of falls is added. We add as we go. We learn from our experience. And in our facilities, what I do the verbal training at the beginning, and then on daily basis, as far as they're going, every day we talk about something. Because the approach of a dementia person or a dementia resident every day is a different topic. So when we develop the plan of care for this resident or for the need of this resident, every day is something different. Today he's able to eat solid food, as I said. Tomorrow he's on pureed. So I cannot just be stuck with that plan of care for him. So the plan of care every day is something different. Today he's able to walk with no walker, no assistant. Tomorrow he needs a walker, so I have to get physical therapy to help me with that and teach the resident, teach the caregiver how to work with the walker. Now he's moved from being a walker to a wheelchair bound or a bed bound. So I have to know how to deal with that too. So all of these are ongoing training. And to be honest, I rather be working with my caregivers on training them on everyday life needs for this residence than going with just like a certificate, give them a certificate, like you're certified as a certified dementia practitioner. What am I going to do with that one if I am not going to put it in demonstration and work with this resident?
Yeah. So Maria, obviously you started your JK House of Grace assisted living facilities in 1995. I want to shift to COVID. What changes have you seen pre and post COVID with facilities like yours and others when it comes to our aging population?
Well, I would say that COVID affected, I can't deny that it didn't affect us as a facility, because our facility works very close with the residents' family and the community. And when COVID comes, I couldn't bring the residents' families, I couldn't bring the community to do the activities that I was doing with them. I mean, if I want to do an activity that involved a lot of people to make things look like alive, like it's more happy, joyful, I couldn't do that. So what I have to do is I have to accommodate the needs. Like I can't, if they can't come and visit, and they used to come and visit on daily basis, I started asking them to videotape themselves, send it as a text message for me. I have a big screen TV in each home, and I would put the residents, all of them, and showed the video with with the little application there on the TV, and it becomes like the family are visiting. The grandkids are talking to their grandma, and they're talking with and she or he communicating with them like they're in front of them. So I re-videotape that one and show it to the family what we did. So that makes the family happy, that makes the residents happy, that makes me satisfied that I did my job as an administrator, as an assisted living manager. I am continue to do the activities and the engagement that I have for my residents with their families. That's the short thing. We have posters, like big posters with all their pictures that they come, and I have a big screen door that they can come and sit and talk. One of the family, she brought her music instrument and she sang for her husband, for her loved one. She sang for him, and I have to open the window a little bit so he can hear what's going on. So that's something that we still did the visit. Even if it's a cold day, we still did the visit. And some of the families, they don't come and visit at all. So I have to be the family for my residents. And this is so sad, you know, when families are, and I know it's not, they don't want to visit, but because they're out of the country, they're out of the state. So I become the family for this loved one. And to the residents, to be honest, you know, with their dementia, they don't know who is there. They just want the friendly face. They want the loving, they want the tender loving care that they feel it. So if you give the resident a hug, he knows that this someone loves him and he shared the love with me. So one of the family, she sent me a nice text message and she said, thank you for being the daughter for my dad, because she could not make it and come and visit. So these are the adjustment that I did in the facility to work with them and to make sure that they are not being confined and no one can visit or no one can see them, or they can still see them, they can still hear them, they can still contact them through this social media. And thank God for social media, you know, the internet and all this things that we have access to.
Yeah. Can you speak to, Maria, some of the examples of lifestyle and leisure programs to engage residents in assisted living communities?
This is my, I just love to do the activities and get them engaged. This is just something I feel joy doing it with them. You know, some facilities, they hire a person to do it, but it's different when you are the one who's doing it because you know the need of each one. My residents are different levels of dementia. So you cannot just say this activity, it fits all. It doesn't. So you have to choose the activity for this group that fits their level of dementia. So this is me finding that activity. What did I do? Most of the time, most of the ladies or even the gentlemen, they were cooking in their home. So why don't let them engage in cooking? That's simple as this. Folding laundries, this is simple and they love to do it. And you will say, okay, well, they fold the laundry. What can I do after they finish with the laundry? Undo it again and give it back to them. They forget that they just did it. Matching socks, this is the best. Get the socks all covered, all the resident socks in the house, bring it in a bag, put it and say, let's fold the socks. This is simple. Now this is the simple thing that we can do at home, from baking, cooking, and doing the laundry and folding laundry. The more advanced activities that we do is when we bring the community to work and help us. Like I have families, formal families, that they were with me and took care of their loved one before. They will call me and say, we got an activity for your residents. Can we come by and bring it and play a little bit with them? They come and play with my residents. I have family that they brought me the games. They bought them, they brought them, they played them with my residents. That shows what? That shows a lot. It talks a lot about our facility, that we are still family, no matter what happened to your resident. If your loved one is deceased or still with me, you will continue to be with me afterwards. And we're still doing those activities. One of the very big activity that we did couple years ago, it was the whole community got involved in bringing their antique cars, because we have a gentleman who lost his leg and he's an antique collector, cars collector. And he lost his speech. He cannot talk to enjoy it and say, I want to see this. So we talked to him and he was so happy. And we have to put him outside with the rest of the residents in the 3 homes that we have there next to each other. And those 20 or 25 antique cars, they toured the whole area. It was a show for everyone, for the residents, the families who got involved, and for the neighborhood. So the neighborhood is also involved with us, that support us.
That's
so
wonderful.
These are like, it can be from simple activity to more advanced activity that it can be costly, but when you get the families and the community involved, it's free for you. Absolutely. I don't have to pay.
Yeah. If I have somebody watching this in California that has a family member and they are starting the process of exploring assisted living community for a loved one, what do they do?
To communicate with us? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, how does somebody start the process? If somebody's watching this in another state and they're not there in Maryland, but they want to understand, what do you recommend they do? Like, when you have somebody come to you, what does the process look like?
I got you. This is, again, be proactive. That's, again, another teaching that we really need to emphasize on the families, because we all go through it. I mean, I live with my mom or my dad, and I see them every day. I don't recognize that they're losing their memory. To me, it might be just like they're aging. But once they started acting weird, putting the fire on the stove and leave it on, that's something you really need to start thinking and be proactive. What am I going to do? I need to start looking for a facility. Look at your financial part. That's the important thing. So if you want to start having caregivers in your home and you have only certain amount of money that covers you for a year, and then after that year you spend your money, and that's when you want to look for a facility, you're wrong. Look at your financial space, amount, what do you have, what assets your family, what your loved one have, and start looking for a facility. As I said from the beginning, once you move this person and do the act of movement, you have to just be with that facility. Make sure that facility is able to take care of your loved one from the admission till the last breath. Ask the questions. Say, are you able to do the following for my mom and dad, for my loved one? Are you able to keep them with you? What will happen if this happens, if they get worse? What will you do if he becomes combative or aggressive or wandering? Are you able to take care of this person? What if he developed and become a bedridden? Are you going to take care of my loved one? So these are questions you have to be prepared for. And ask yourself, is this the right facility for me? If they answer you like, oh no, don't worry, we will just try to find another place for you, that's not what you want. You want a facility that they're able to fulfill your loved one needs from the admission till the last breath. These are the things. Check the facility itself. Go tour the facility. Tour 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. You still have time. Don't go and just say, oh, they talk about Maria. Let's just go and that's it. I don't have to go check any other place. No, I always, when they come to me and say, please go look at another facility, see the structure of the facility, if it's a safe neighborhood, if it's a safe environment in the facility, if the facility is one level or it has stairs, are they going to keep your dad or mom in the upper level and no way for him to come downstairs when he get advanced with walking? So he's going to be stuck to his bedroom. These are things you have to ask yourself and see if it's needed for your loved one or not. The other thing is, when you choose the facility and you meet with the assisted living manager, ask the assisted living manager to give you a list of references. Most people, they forgot that. They will say, oh, I spoke with Jason. Jason said good stuff about you, Maria. I think that's enough for me. No, that's not enough. It's enough for you. Jason knows Maria as a professional. He does not know Maria as a caregiver, as an assisted living manager, as a caregiver who is the one who put the plan of care for your loved one. Go and get names of families that they are still with Maria, that she's been taking care of their loved one for the past year or 2 years or 3 years, or families that they already been discharged from the facility due to the decease of their loved one. Go call them. And I usually, what I do, I give them at least five of the families that I have. They're still now with me, and 2 or 3 of the families that they are not with me anymore, but we're still communicating and we still have activities to do with our residents. This is what I will advise the families to do.
Is there typically an assessment required before a person can move into an assisted living community?
Good question. Yes. There is an assessment that the assisted living manager, usually it's myself or my assisted living manager, will go and visit with the residents. That can be like during COVID, it was hard for us to do it. So we basically did it like maybe like this on Zoom, or we did it like on FaceTime or something like this. But most of the time, we have an assessment tool that is used by all facilities, by the way, not just for us. It can be like used by the bigger facilities or smaller facilities, the same assessment tool. And this assessment tool can be done before the admission of this person. The information on this assessment can be taken from the family, from a caregiver who is with that person. If there's no caregiver with that person, it can be from the doctor or the nurse practitioner who sees that person, that loved one, the resident. It can be from the hospital social worker. It can be from the nursing home discharge notes. All of these information, you as a smart care assisted living manager, if you do the right assessment, that's when you will say, I'm ready to take care of this person in my facility. Because if you're not doing the right assessment, within 2 months or maybe within 1 week, and I heard someone who came to me barely stayed 1 day in the other facility, and they have to discharge him immediately and find another place for him. Why? Because she did not do the right assessment. She thought, oh, it's a piece of cake. He yells, it's okay. No, he yells, he is combative, he wanders, and he has a very bad language. So she couldn't tolerate it, and she could not keep him. So make sure you do the correct assessment, the right questions. I want to spend a little bit time here. The question that you ask, it can be repeated in too many different ways to get the answer you want about this person. And usually I will tell the family, please, the more you tell me honestly, transparently, the more I can be able to give you the right care for your loved one. If you don't tell me he doesn't sleep at nighttime, that will put you in a very bad situation if you send him to a different facility that they cannot stand someone to stay awake at nighttime. It's true, we all say we have a 24-hour caregivers that are awake at nighttime, but we don't want someone to spend the whole night crying, yelling, and wandering in the facility, disturbing the sleep of other residents. And this is a small facility. So the more they answer like honestly and with more details, the more you're able to say, this resident fit in my family, this resident doesn't fit in my family. Most of them, they fit in my family. And like within my resident, you know, I call it my family, but it's in my facility.
Understand.
Thank
This is
you.
wonderful. Thank you so much, Maria. This is so much really good information. How can people find you?
Well, first of all, the important thing is to go through our, facility name. It's called JK Grace Assisted Living. This is can be found on, if you Google search us and just write JK House of Grace Assisted Living. You can go on our website, jkhouseofgraceassistedliving.com. And you can call me on 301-792-1144, or you can text me actually too on the same number, 301-792-1144. You can send an email to us, and the email address is office@jkhouseofgrace.com. Simple, office@jkhouseofgrace.com. This is, I think you can see it on the screen, the name of the facility, the number, and the website. And we are also on social media. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, you can find us on LinkedIn, you can find us on Facebook. It's the same name, JK House of Grace Assisted Living.
And Maria, where are you located exactly?
We have 4 different locations. 3 locations are in Silver Spring, Maryland, and the zip code is 20906. And the 3 facilities in Silver Spring, they are borderline with Leisure World. But that's for the people who are in the state of Maryland and the like Silver Spring area. They will know Leisure World. So we're like a mile from Leisure World on Connecticut or Norbeck or Georgia Avenue even. So we're borderline. And the 4th facility is like 2 miles from them on the other side, and is about like 2 miles and a half maybe. It's on Parkland Drive.
Excellent. Well, once again, thank you so much, Maria. As far as Knowledgeable Aging, you can go to our website, knowledgeableaging.com. You can see all of our upcoming and archive webinars. Go to YouTube, type in Knowledgeable Aging. We encourage you to subscribe. We update that several times per month. If podcasts are your thing, you can find us on Apple Tunes, Spotify, etc. Till next time, I'm your host, Jason Kotar. This is Knowledgeable Aging.